So you have a tender rate and you love overlanding. You have plans to do it big on the trace and some super glamping. One ideas, deep news and reviews, a podcast the first rate and here just for you. You don't have to think about it, join us and be about it. Something interesting we want to hear about it, come on let's talk about it. Welcome to Waypoint Overland's Random Waypoints podcast.
Sponsored by Midland, communication for every adventure. The industry leader in radio communication technology and innovation for over 50 years. Sponsored by MYMEDIC. Sponsored by TEMBO TUSK. Sponsored by Shower Pouch. Sponsored by DeMoss Collective, mission built and made for mobility. Sponsored by BrewTrek. Sponsored by Hard Impact Designs.
Always remember, the opinion you follow should be your own. Just consider the things stated here to be a second opinion from a complete stranger online.
Hey, what's up, everybody? You know we like to bring special guests on to the podcast. This isn't one of those weeks.
No.
We have...
Definitely not.
This is going to be... Hey, we're always off the rails. Right?
Always off the rails.
Today is going to be extra special off the rails.
We have our main man...
Hey, and I promise we have not even pulled out the cocktails
Look,
yet.
he hasn't even had a drink yet, and he's already messing up. It's fantastic.
We have our good friend Josiah. Do you want us to call you Josiah or
Josiah's great. That is my first name.
Okay.
Yeah, it's my given name.
All right.
Josiah Rowe.
So
Famous,
Whoa.
I will add.
Whoa,
Yeah.
no.
From Journal of Lost Time.
Something like that.
Right?
Yeah.
And tell us anything. Tell us something.
You want me to tell you about the journal? All right,
No,
well.
no, tell
this
us.
isn't our regular podcast, guys.
No, this is a special. They've been harassing me for a while, and by they, I mean I've been harassing them for a while to be on their podcast because they're my good friends here at Overland Expo. No, I'm with the Journal of Lost Time, deeper, more immersive travel storytelling. You should check it out. It's a wonderful magazine. I think so anyway.
On a serious side, talk about the magazine.
Yeah.
Because it's a shame that everybody here should know about your magazine.
Well, we're still new. We're still figuring it out. It's just deeper, more immersive travel storytelling, and it ends up being a lot of cool overlanding and van life-oriented content because it's about deeper, more immersive. It's about going in, like, what it's like to spend a month in Baja California Sur exploring the East Cape. Stories like that. What it's like to go and spend a month on the Azores exploring the archipelago there, and it's that sort of storytelling, and we're really happy with it. And we also produce 6 van life and overlanding very community-oriented events. Brands are there, but it's very participatory. It's very interactive, workshops, happy hours, sort of fun stuff like that. So that kind of came very organically because of the stories that we were producing. And
Now, what I like about the Journal of Lost Time is that it's like pictures worth 1,000 words.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
It is just stunning video and stunning photos, and I hope that guy stays out of our flight pattern here because it's like.
yeah, we're gonna cut that out in post.
on us actually. Here,
We're gonna cut that out in post.
Right. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Be careful, guys. I'm not cutting out
All right,
anything.
great.
Oh no. But, okay. Now. So and then having attended a bunch of his events, the van life, overlanding, just chill life, really, right?
It's pretty enjoyable. Yeah, it's all they're all places that are my favorite places to do van life. And they're all communities where they're very receptive and open to that.
Why am I laughing? I'm laughing because when he says they're different places, he means they're different places.
Yeah.
He does.
Like there's one in Lander, Wyoming, and I'm sure everybody out there.
Lander, Wyoming is just a wonderful
Hudson,
town on the
right?
east. Yeah, it's next door to Lander.
Yeah,
it's just a wonderful town on the east side of the Wind River Range. It kind of works for a nice counterclockwise migration.
Would never
With the
have
good
gone
weather.
there. I would never have gone there in a million years.
Well, that's a lack of curiosity
If it
on your
wasn't-
part, there, bud.
I know, but I got to tell you, it was amazing. Like it's an amazing area.
They're all really cool towns, really cool parts of the world that are really receptive to nomads, overlanders, van lifers, and so it's a wonderful way to like connect this community which is growing and vibrant with local communities and the things that make those parts of the world really unique and wonderful. Even if it's in a place in the middle of nowhere like our New Mexico one in October, it's a dark sky park overlooking El Morro and the cliff dwellings. We have the local historians to come out. The head of the New Mexico Air and Space Museum comes out and does a talk. It's really, really nice. And a geologist comes out from New Mexico State University.
How far outside of Albuquerque?
It's about 2 hours west.
Okay.
I mean, it's in the middle of nowhere.
Yep.
That one is. Other ones are like Bisbee, Arizona. We take over the entire town. We book every parking lot they'll rent us. Every Airbnb's filled, and we'll drop 500 overlanders and van lifers there. We pack the bars with bands and the rest, and we just have a great time. It's a hard drinking event.
Bisbee is
Rowdy.
one of the coolest places
My
in
liver still
America.
hurts.
If you've never been to Bisbee, Arizona, you absolutely got, well, yeah, I know.
It's your turn. It's your turn.
Nobody's listening to this podcast, right?
By the way, today's podcast is sponsored by
What?
High West Old Fashioned
Well, I guess
Barrel
it's
Finish
10:30.
Cocktail.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's fine. It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
I'm going to debut my new Overland Expedition truck build
I'm
at
excited.
MOONLANDING
Excited.
in New Mexico.
It's going to be great.
At what? I got...
Yeah, he's
You're
gonna.
you gotta
I'll finish.
catch up.
He's gonna debut his new rig, Drive the Globe V3. This is the third one?
Four.
Wow, holy
This is
crap,
number
man.
4.
Number
Well, no,
4. He's
this
gonna
is
debut it at
number one.
MOONLANDING, October 12th through 16th. You should come. MoonlandingGathering.com. A Total Eclipse of the van, a solar eclipse, an annular one. It's not a full one. It's gonna go right over the location on Saturday morning of the event, which will be pretty cool.
That will be cool.
Free beer, tons of great food, bands, music, shenanigans.
All right, so here's my question.
All right, hit me, buddy.
How did we get into this? How did you... So, in fairness for everybody out there, we're sitting in front of his
Mm-hmm.
bright green van,
Barb the Barbarian.
Barb the Barbarian.
'Cause she's
and he's
German.
a full-time nomad, right? You're on the road full-time.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say that I'm a full-time van lifer in the sense that, like, if I'm in a place for more than, say, a week, I just try to rent a place. Because the Vanagon platform, is incredible, wonderful, but it's definitely tricky to, like, live in and be comfortable in. Like, it's more designed to be, like, a weekender road trip type thing. To do the full-time van life thing in it, it has its limitations. But I've been doing it full-time, kind of on the road, staying in places for a little over 7 years now. So pre-Sprinter, pre-ProMaster, pre-the white ProMaster, what I call the van life HOA. Like the suburbs showed up. Nothing wrong with it. It's great. Love them. But yeah, it was definitely interesting to watch.
The transition.
Yeah, I mean, at the time...
Evolution.
Yeah, at the time, your options, when I was looking at it, I was like, well, I could do a pretty epic conversion like you were doing.
Yeah.
And then I saw this van, which was an air-cooled 82 at the time, pop up on a website called the Samba, which was like the OG website for the VW Vanagon community. And the price was right, and it was in Colorado Springs. A family had just finished 2 or 3 years traveling the country in it. So I dropped everything from San Francisco, drove out there, took it out to get checked out at a mechanic, bought it, and that was that.
How did you get to the point of, like, I'm going to be a nomad? Like, tell us how you got there.
So I was dating a woman in the Front Range, and I was like splitting my time between San Francisco and there. And the flying thing was fine, but it just got annoying. I felt like I was missing out on what is the best half of this continent. And so was considering getting something like a truck camper, a van, or something like that to do the trip. And I forget what it was. It was this couple from Sweden that I saw on Instagram in a Vanagon doing the Pan American. And I was like, I think that's awesome. And then went through a breakup, went to Maui. And when I was looking for like Airbnbs or whatever to rent, I saw somebody was renting VWs. This really rad dude who now has a fleet of them there. But I rented one of those, and what was supposed to be a week trip ended up being a month. Just slowly working my way around the island. I'm like, I love these Vanagons. They're amazing. And that's when I got hooked. And then I started dating the girl in the Front Range, and I knew I was going to buy one at some point when the right one became available. And it was really the green color that did it. For this one, it was like, oh, I want the green. I'll take it. And so I got it, and then I did an engine conversion from an air-cooled to a 1.8 turbo, and have spent an irresponsible amount of money turning it into something that I can hopefully drive around the globe on the second try, because it's a Vanagon. It'll get you there on the second try. It's just a good rig. It's a good rig. But yeah, that's kind of, and then when I broke up with that person in the Front Range, I was at that point I was like, all right, well, I'm just gonna do it, be the full-time nomad.
Yeah.
And I was already in a position with what I was doing, working in tech in the Bay Area, to be allowed to work remotely. Yeah. And then did the career shift to what I do now.
And what do you do now?
So I'm always confused.
I know Josiah for
nobody really knows.
I don't know, a long time.
Good question.
I'm not really sure what he does.
I have a production company called Granite and Light. We do photo and video production on behalf of brands and a lot of destination marketing organizations. So like Visit Bend, right here is a client, and they're awesome. Travel Oregon, the Oregon coast. Aqua is what
Chamber of Commerce is like that.
Yeah, things like that. Yeah, and then about 3 years ago, right in the middle of the pandemic. Alaska Airlines. What up, Alaska?
I love it. Best airline out there.
Who's that on the tail of the plane?
I don't know. It's some guy. I thought it was Phil, actually.
It looks like Luis Guzman.
So for those of you who will be listening to this as only an audio version, we are at the Pacific Northwest Overland Rally.
We are. Overland Expo.
Overland Expo.
PNW.
Overland Expo PNW.
Yeah, it's the pantsless
Redmond,
version.
Oregon at the Deschutes County Fairgrounds. And it happens to be
Near an airport.
It is.
I mean, literally, because I flew in here from Connecticut, and I got to tell you, you could walk from the airport here.
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
It's that close.
Yeah. And it's the pants optional Overland Expo.
That's right.
Yeah.
We haven't seen too many people go by without pants
There's been some shirt cocking. I saw that last night. Well, that was Ava Rupert's big initiative. She wanted it to be pants optional. I respect it, whatever. Oh, she's a homie.
Oh, boy.
We should be good allies.
Okay, so...
Allyship matters.
How did we meet?
Pantsless representation matters.
Tell a story about how we met while we're talking about funny things.
So, well, I got, the Journal of Lost Time, Deeper, More Immersive Storytelling. We publish that, and we do 6 van life events. That's what I do for a living. And the team does, which there's a few more around here somewhere. But Mike and I met, I was in Baja, California after our Baja event called Escapar La Baja, which is amazing. Yeah, you should go to. It's incredible. It's on this beautiful white sand beach outside La Paz. Every imaginable kind of overlanding rig, and none of them are freaking parking lot princesses.
Because they're all there.
They're all
just by the nature of getting there.
You got to drive 1,000 miles through the boonies. But so it's really wonderful, and everyone's coming off a high of the best road trip of their life. And so after that, I like to go to the East Cape of Baja, which is just it's a magical place. I mean, all of Baja's magical. East Cape's got its own vibe, and I was hanging out in Cabo Pomo, and I wanted to go check out this arroyo just a little ways down. And went down there and I saw this giant orange thing, which I was immediately drawn to as somebody who likes ostentatious, brightly colored things. And but this guy wasn't there at his rig, so I left a sticker, a note, or something. And then I went back to town where there was a bar, and I looked him up and sent him a message. And, hey, asshole, meet me at the bar. And we promptly...
By the way, I didn't go to the event.
He wasn't at the event.
But everybody that came by for the prior week or two
was talking
about this event that I failed to, know about.
Yeah.
And then I think I had walked up to you at the bar.
Yeah.
And said, hey, I suppose you also went to this event. And Josiah was like, actually, I run that event.
Yeah, and then we promptly
did shots.
Drank way too much tequila and closed the bar down like 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
Oh, with who's the Cole? Cole. What a dude! Shout out to Cole.
Yeah, shout out to Cole down there in
Cabo Pomo. Running the best worst bar in Cabo Pomo.
That's right.
It's fantastic. It's the only bar in Cabo Pomo, but yeah, it's a good bar. Yeah, that's how we met, and then it's been
interesting
nonsense ever since.
Times. Yeah, I did get a chance to go to Escapar La Baja this year.
You did.
Not with
like a madman.
Once again, not with a rig. I rode my bicycle from San Diego to there.
Can you believe this guy? He's like, no, I'm coming to your event. Oh, cool. You could be right in center camp. No, I'm going on a bike. What? No, I'm biking the whole peninsula. Why? And it's not like I don't respect it. I do. But I knew it sucked because everyone I've ever talked to doing the Baja Divide Trail is like, that's one of the worst mountain biking trips of my life.
And by the way, you still haven't talked to anybody that hasn't said that.
No, everyone says it. It's
because I say that.
Like I meet him. He's beat to shit. Like literally, like, are you all right, man? Do you need to go to the hospital? He just looked so miserable. But you came, and I appreciate it.
It was fun.
It was a good event. It's a great event. You should definitely come to the event. Phil's coming next year. It's gonna be great.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we're gonna put Phil in charge of everything.
Right.
We're totally gonna do it. I'm gonna tell the entire team. If anyone has questions, go talk to Phil.
This is his MO, by the way. He'll walk around the event. He'd be, Mike's in charge. Yeah. Whoa, I'm not in charge of anything.
Dude, it's important. It's important to have other people to blame.
Where did the idea come from for this?
For the events? Well, oh gosh. So there's this book called Bowling Alone by Robert Putnam. He's like a sociologist, anthropologist, and he talks about the decline or the dying of institutions in our country and culture where you can build something called social capital. So this is, like the idea of Bowling Alone is there aren't bowling leagues anymore. There aren't corner bars because of the nature in which we design our cities. And there's definitely been a massive shift, especially with the upside down nature of our late stage capitalism, for people who don't want to spend $2,500 a month on rent to some big corporation or somebody who owns 6 homes, to go and do the sort of van life nomadic thing. Yep. But humans are all we've got. I mean, plus dogs, they're pretty great. Cats are... Rona somewhere. She's around here somewhere. And so... there we go.
There we go.
Yeah, you go show that German Shepherd.
Schnauzer's
going to kick your ass, Rona. Yeah, so like there was definitely... in the early days of van life, there's a couple of really cool ones, like Descend on Bend was started by some friends of mine. In the early days of van life, it was a lot of Vanagon folks, and that one's now become a bigger one, but realized that there was like a need.
Asheville, North Carolina.
Exactly. And there was like a need for folks to gather together, and it's been wonderful over the last few years to see relationships form. People keep coming back. They kind of plan their nomadic migration against those events. A lot of them now have started businesses that are nomadic, where those places become like an economic driver for them, whether that's like mobile tattoo studios, like mobile salon parlors where they're doing haircuts, graphic designers, all that sort of stuff.
Yoga, breath work.
Exactly.
I mean, it goes on and on.
So they've kind of become a mechanism for really just human connection and meeting people. And that's why like we have brands that are there, and they're really what allow the events to happen. It wouldn't be possible without really great sponsors like Storyteller and Dakota Lithium and Go Power and the rest. But like they're very much, it's not an expo in the sense that they show up and set up flags. Not that there's anything wrong with that, as I am at an expo.
And there are a fair amount of flags.
Yeah, there's some flags. There's some flags around. But no, they come and they do something participatory. Like, and they get creative, and it's a way to connect with the community in a deeper way. And to be in a very real way, the people doing it full time are your first line of sales repping, and so it's just good business too, right. Because they're the ones, especially the bigger ones, like whether it's Chad, a Living the Van Life, or Kristen, Badass Brunette. I mean, they've got 500,000 followers on YouTube, or Mike here, who's kind of a big deal on the YouTubes. His Patreon and OnlyFans is pretty slick.
Shh, we're not supposed to talk about the OnlyFans.
Sorry, my bad. But yeah, so that's like what the events have become, and it's why I find it rewarding, is get to see humans connect in a positive way.
One of the things, you could probably address this a little bit because you're that guy, but there's been a merging between, quote, overlanding and van life. Which I think is great.
Yeah, I mean, the overlanding community, like the ones that actually do cool stuff, have effectively been doing the van life nomadic thing. Whether that's, Patty Lupton, doing... They've literally been doing it in these really interesting rigs that they've customized to work specifically for them. And so there is sort of like in the Venn diagram of van life and overlanding, there's a pretty interesting overlap for the like full-timers, and of course some of the part-timers too. There's definitely a lot of like part-time van lifers who buy the pimped out Sprinter and do 2 weekend trips a year. There's nothing wrong with that. but they look aspirationally at
Yep.
the folks that are doing it in a much more intentional, full-time way. So that's been really fun to see, especially somebody like when I got into van life, the hashtag van life thing wasn't a thing. I was looking at the Overland folks like Patty, what's her husband name?
Patty and
Oh my gosh, I feel like an idiot.
Oh,
But her and
I
her
feel
husband.
bad.
I know.
drawing a blank myself.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. What? Yeah,
too
they were
early.
like heroes of mine,
Yep.
doing the Darien Gap and all that sort of epic stuff. So for me, it wasn't like van life. It was like I want to go travel and see the world and explore, and a vehicle's a good way to do it because I don't have to fly there and stay for 2 weeks and then leave. And so for me, it was just overlanding. I didn't really think about the van life thing, and then that.
It really is all one and the same anyways.
Exactly.
It's just, they're just words, right?
Yeah.
It's really nomad.
It's exactly. That's why I
Somebody
like.
that uses a vehicle to travel.
That's why I prefer the descriptor nomad event versus van life or something like that, because van life feels limiting. Like somebody like you would mind, well, I'm not a van, I've got a.
Well, I tell you, when I went to the first event I went to that was of yours in Bisbee, Arizona, it was my first event ever that I've ever attended, like a van life. In my mind, it was a van life event. And you kept saying, come, it'll be fun. And I'm like, and I kept thinking to myself, going, man, I'm not going to fit into this. This is going to be weird. And as it turns out, my preconceived ideas were 100% wrong. And many of the friends that I now travel with, that went to Wyoming went to different places with, I met at that event.
they're
And
fun events.
a whole collection of different people driving school buses and driving vans and driving overland rigs and even like regular RV campers, really.
Yeah.
Who cares?
No, it's just inclusive. Like there is no exclusivity with the events. And I think about that a lot, like from like a brand building standpoint, but I'd rather be inclusive.
Yeah.
Like I don't care if you show up in your giant fifth wheel, some of those RVs are insane.
They're insane. It's good to see, though, even an event like we're at Overland Expo right now, which obviously was rooted heavily in the overland world. It used to be just world traveler kind of people.
Yeah.
And it's expanded. But now if you walk around here, I'd say 50% of this is vans.
Oh, yeah. There's schoolies right there.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. Yeah. They're in a whole insane community in their own right. But, yeah. This is my favorite of the Overland Expos. Like, I think, the location's incredible. The grounds are awesome. The Deschutes Fairground is incredible. The team is wonderful. Yeah, it's my favorite of the events. Like, the brands that are here are... I feel like it's very... Overland West is everyone's there. Like, that's just intense.
Yeah.
This is, like, folks that are really focused, really into the community. I really like it. This is my favorite of the...
I just like it because the Greater Bend, Redmond area here is fantastic for travelers.
Weather's great.
The weather is great at this time of the year, particularly. There's plenty of places to boondock and camp around here. It's local. There's convenient. There's a grocery store down the road. It's just simple.
The town of Redmond's a blast.
Yeah.
There's some great bars, great breweries. Yeah, it's a wonderful
Wild
town.
Ride Brewing.
Yeah.
They're not trying to force a round peg in a square hole.
Yes.
That's a good way to put it.
It's a community that's already doing the things that they're trying to.
I also like they don't have to bus folks in. Like everyone's literally right there.
Right
like
here.
the whole, all attendees are just part. It's really nice.
Yeah.
And they're having a great time in the lots and.
And
We
the
got
actual
wander.
facility, no matter where you're camping, nobody's got
Far.
a far distance.
Same
not at all.
distance
Not
because
at
it's
all.
a circle.
Yeah,
Right.
It's great.
Yeah.
It's really well designed fairground. They did a great job with it. Whoever was the architect of the Deschutes County Fairground did a great job.
And a lot of people put together trips to come here.
Oh yeah.
It's in the perfect place for you to route a trip
It's a great time of year.
coming here.
Yep. You can get all Utah, Colorado, Northern
I
California.
came in last year I came from your event in eastern Wyoming.
Yep.
Came across Wyoming, did Idaho, just took a nice leisurely trip. Eastern Oregon is amazing.
Oh,
Like, it's
Eastern Oregon's
amazing.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just got done. So we came from the Wyoming event and then went up to the Wallowas and Hell's Canyon and just had a wonderful few days.
Yeah.
Little Naha is beautiful. It's just a great place to explore.
Yeah.
By the last day, some of the smoke from the Hood River Gorge fire made it up there, but it still was it just made for an epic sunset. Ava Rupert's pants optional thing for this event has been a little bit intense, but I'm okay with it.
We just put them on.
Yeah, we put them on for the
podcast.
Yeah, for the podcast.
But after the podcast is over, I got to teach a class, so it'll have to come.
Yeah,
off
tarps
again.
off, bud. Yeah, it's going down.
Feels like I don't.
I can't release this.
Maybe we shouldn't have done this one.
Yeah, we made a terrible mistake.
See, I have my little miniature board. I should have brought my big board because I have a little button. I can go, dude.
Oh, the bleeper.
Dude.
Yeah, that's
The
fair.
bleeper. Yeah, no, that would be absolutely no fun. You know.
Let's talk about the things we don't like at the event. One, they only gave me 4 tickets for drinks last night.
That's it.
Yeah, for my trifecta.
Yeah. This guy is a media showcase and instructor.
So explain this, Josiah. Okay, so to do it yourself, you're obviously
Sure.
showcasing your vehicle. The next one is you're an instructor.
Yeah, I'm an instructor, so I do. I and my buddy Chad from Living the Van Life, we do a couple of workshops on overlanding by van. It's for folks that are like interested in making a jump to a platform like that. So we do a couple talks on that, and then I do a couple of Baja ones.
We got one this afternoon.
Yeah, you and I are doing one this afternoon.
4 o'clock.
We're going to talk about Baja. And then I'm on a couple of van life round tables, which Azure has kind of expanded in the programming this year, which I'm happy to participate in. And then media, Journal of Lost Time, and then DIY Showcase. So for media, I've got a couple of interviews with some brands that are doing some interesting stuff in the van and overlanding space. Particularly on the storytelling side of things. They've got some pretty cool expeditions coming up into the Yukon and some stuff there. And so it's not like about product, if that makes sense. It's more about like the adventure they're going on. And so we're happy to be a amplifier of that story. Because most of the content in the journal is actually sponsored content, but we retain editorial control, so which has worked out pretty nicely. But yeah, that's basically what we're here doing. And I mean, I love this event. It's a wonderful time. It's good to connect with. I mean, I really enjoy the DIY showcase community, guys like Mike and Phil. And that's why that really makes it rewarding for me.
So let's stay on the instructor thing for just a second.
Okay.
And I'm opening this up to both of you guys, but we're going to start with you first.
Okay.
Why does a person want to go talk to you guys about Baja? What would be the benefit of somebody coming to Expo
Sure.
and maybe not even your class, but somebody else's class?
Yeah,
Maybe
100%.
they're doing something else. Because there's a lot of classes here.
Well, I find when I was considering going to Baja, I was very grateful that there were a few folks that had done it a few times that I could fire off some DMs to and send some text and be like, hey, I think I'm going to blitz this holiday break and go south of the border. What are some things I need to know about? And so there's just some real practical things that Mike and I will be able to help out about. And also, like, and I mean this in the most brutal terms, absolutely 99.99% of the presentation and reputation of Mexico and Baja as a dangerous place is just racist media bullshit.
Totally.
It just is. It just is.
1,000% bullshit.
The woman I'm seeing had never been to Baja, and because I said, no, you'll feel fine, she went by herself and met me down there this year. Crossed the border, did it all, solo female. I mean, she's a brave badass, and I'd never cross her, but she's awesome. Yeah, she scares me. Anyway, but yeah, like you're gonna feel great. So there's definitely, for me,
Part of it's dispelling myth.
yeah, literally, like you. Yeah, it's very odd to me that exists. I don't think it exists for any other reason than latent
It is.
racist bullshit.
A point I would like to make from the outside looking in
Yeah.
about all the expos and all the classes similar to yours is, like, for instance, your Baja classes. You guys aren't somebody who just took a 2-week trip and
No.
came back and decided to be instructors.
He's crazy. He goes like for 6
Yeah.
months.
Right.
He like sets up camp. I don't know. I mean, he's
Most of the classes
I
and
go for like 3
instruction
months.
things are manned by people that are doing it.
exactly.
And they're immersed in it. They're not like light content people.
No.
These are people that are in it, have done it many times, and can share experiences
Yep.
and answer questions. That's
There's no
what's about.
assfluencing going on
Right.
at the instructor thing.
Because
It's pretty cool.
you can visit a place for a week or two,
Mm-hmm.
and something bad happened, and that's just that random moment.
Happens.
Oh, I'd like for the first time in.
So you don't really
8
know what the crime is. You don't really
Yeah.
know the pulse of that city. You just know your experience.
Yeah, well, this was my 8th winter down, and this was the first time I had any sort of criminal interaction. It was my one time I left my, was in La Paz, blah, blah, blah. They stole the sound box and my e-bike, which I got back because I had air tags on it. That's the first time I've ever dealt with any sort of crime,
Which
anything.
obviously could happen anywhere. In any
Oh, no, I've
country.
had way more stuff happen in the States. Like, yeah.
I mean,
Well, I'd rather park my car there than downtown San Francisco.
right.
Yeah. I mean, as somebody's from San Francisco, parked it there many times, had it broken into one time. It happens. They stole my silverware. I didn't understand that. They stole the camera equipment, the batteries.
They were
stole my
hungry.
silverware and my food. Which, yeah, I'm like,
They had to eat.
so now I put a sign up on the window that says, "There's food and beer in the fridge. Please don't break anything." And every time I come out, I'm like, oh, they took a beer.
Mike, I didn't tell you
That's great.
a few months back. You know my TEMBO TUSK got stolen
Yeah,
in
I heard
downtown
that.
Seattle.
No, wait, somebody stole a TEMBO tusk?
Downtown
It was
Seattle.
Jerry.
It was
It
Jerry.
was Jerry.
Jerry, did
Jerry's
you steal
known,
this?
yeah. Jerry, did you take his TEMBO tusk? What kind of guy sells somebody a scuttle and then steals it back? That's Jerry.
He needed it.
He needed it. He was cooking something somewhere. The food was great. Yeah, where is Jerry?
Yeah,
Jerry,
where is
yeah,
Jerry?
where's Jerry?
Jerry, where are you?
Jerry.
Jerry had something that he had to take care of, and he has his son basically taking over
Makes sense.
operations.
Did you know Jerry is a speechwriter for Biden? He's on like he's one of the speechwriters for Joe Biden. The guy's amazing. He's incredible.
That wasn't as good as the last thing
He
you
has
made
an
up last
honorary
year.
he has an honorary degree from Georgetown. Jerry's incredible. He's the most interesting man.
Ever.
Yeah.
He should be on the Modelo commercial
Yeah.
or whatever it is.
Yeah, he's an associate distiller at Jack Daniels.
I'm gonna have to talk to a lawyer about whether or not I can put this particular podcast out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he probably
You
should.
definitely can put it on.
Jerry's he passed the bar. He didn't go to law school, but he passed the bar in California, which is its own thing. What a guy.
So were you born and raised in San Francisco?
No, I was born in Detroit.
Detroit,
The
D-Town.
D.
The big
yeah.
D.
But I got out early. My dad had the GI Bill. He was a Vietnam vet, and so was one of the lucky ones that was able to get out of Detroit. So I have a lot of
Oh
family.
God.
Well, I mean, like it was intense back then. Like, I mean, it's got a bit
I'm
of a
from
renaissance.
Chicago originally, so
Nah, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. But yeah, I had a lot of aunts. Moved to Chicago. Shout out to Aunt Sherry, Aunt D, in the South Side.
What's your connection to the Latin America? Because you got a few.
Yes, yeah. So I was, I'd gone to an island in the Caribbean called Roatan, off the coast of Honduras, and I met an Argentinian woman there, because the diving's great. I like to dive, and so I had gone down to see her in Buenos Aires, and she's like, "Hey, we need to go to this place called Fuda Le Fu in Chilean Patagonia, kind of the middle part where it's really green and lush." And went there, and unequivocally, I don't know if it's the most beautiful place on earth, but when I'm there, I no longer wonder where is the most beautiful place on earth. And we went there, and then the pandemic happened, and I got stranded because the border closed and my rental was from Argentina, and Chilean customs wouldn't let me leave the country and abandon a vehicle. So I got stuck there for 7 months in a cabin in the Andes in this incredibly beautiful place. And fell in love with it, got to be friends. One of the gauchos was, "Do you want to buy some of my land?" There's no realtors down there or anything like that. So I did, and slowly built my place. And it's, I don't know how to put it another way. It's like, imagine getting to buy land in Yosemite Valley. It's that level of insanely beautiful. Got a 200-foot waterfall that flows onto
And these are the things that you come upon as a traveler, as a nomad, that you didn't anticipate. People ask me all the time, like, "Mike, I thought you left 3 years ago to drive around the world." Well, I am.
Yeah.
But there's no time frame on that.
No.
And I've discovered, partly because of the pandemic, places that weren't even on the itinerary that have turned out to be maybe better than what the itinerary was. So, hell, enjoy them.
Yeah, you want to make God laugh, make a plan. You know,
I want to throw something out there, and you tell me whether you agree or disagree. I feel like if you're in this nomadic travel thing, the tighter your itinerary, the less you see.
No, there's something to that. And yeah,
You know, people typically put together their itinerary
Yeah.
because they're like, I want to have this concise schedule to make sure that I see everything. But you, in fact, do not see
Well,
everything.
what I would say
you see less.
the more you schedule and the more that you plan, the higher rate of failure.
yeah,
Things
exactly.
go wrong.
Yeah, 100%. And I really, really think you have to leave space to go to the local dive bar, make friends with the bartender and the people sitting there, and they're going to recommend to you incredible places. Like
That's how you discover the real stuff.
yeah, like where I was at this weekend, overlooking Hell's Canyon, this really rad spot is only because I went to the Rusty Spur, Silver Spur, in Joseph. Got to be friends with a couple folks working at the foundry there. And they're like, hey, take this crazy forest road to here, and then hang a right here. And it's I think one of the top 10 dispersed campsites in the U.S.
Right.
And
But you wouldn't have known about it, and
If-
you wouldn't have put it on an itinerary.
yeah, so I feel like you got to leave space to engage with other human beings. And I also realize that, like, not everyone's an extrovert. Not everyone's going to sit there at the bar and
Obviously,
chat
we're not. So.
No, we're total introverted folks. But also, when you're sitting at a bar drinking a beer, you can say something to the person next to you, and you can say something to the bartender, and they're going to give you great beta. And I think that's even with all the apps that we have, they're still not going to tell you about the best spots. That's why everyone talks about, oh, so-and-so is really overcrowded. I'm like, well, because
you're just reading it in a magazine.
you're trying to park at Tunnel View
Right.
and
Yeah,
stage
yeah,
a photo like
yeah,
you're the only one
yeah,
there.
yeah.
Like, what are you talking about? Have you driven up to Hetch Hetchy? Like, what?
Yeah. And they were, huh?
Like,
And I heard of that
you
one.
can go
Yellowstone, I've heard of that.
Yeah, you think, yeah, that's the sort of stuff that like cracks me up. Where, yeah, don't get me wrong, I do think there's too many humans, and please stop breeding. We don't need any more fuck trophies or, you know, skin puppies, whatever we call kids.
So, Josiah, this isn't a unique question.
Unrestrained narcissist children. Anyway, go ahead.
I ask everybody this. Everybody who I think can give a good answer to
All right.
it. I'm a newbie. I'm considering doing this thing. 2 minutes. What's your best advice to me?
All the best things are on the other side of fear. Like, just go for it. Don't, stop worrying. Turn off the brain as best you can. Grab your parents' Corolla and just go.
It doesn't matter what you're driving.
Literally doesn't matter. Because you're going to learn what works for you and doesn't work for you. I love my van. I hate my van.
Yep.
I know what it was
Yep.
great at and what it's bad at. Just go. I've yet to switch vehicles, and I've been doing it for 7.5 years. That's the thing. Just go. Whatever you got, doesn't matter.
Rusty!
So you mean
Just go for zone. Go any.
you would still be doing this if you didn't have the Rotopacks?
Yeah, 100%. None of that shit matters. No. All right, shit.
Wait a minute, I thought you had to have that.
No, all right. Look, most of the rigs, they're just, it's a trophy. It's
Well, I mean,
conspicuous
you can
consumption.
certainly walk around and see
Yeah,
just
yeah. They're
endless
not going
amounts
anywhere.
of things that.
Yeah, they don't go anywhere. I'm like, give me that Wrangler and I'll show you some shit. We'll get into it. I blew out both my control arms messing around on the North Rim of the Grand Canyon.
Well, you've wheeled this thing.
Oh, yeah.
In places
But
that
that's Sure,
most
wouldn't do.
highly set up, four-wheel drive, super capable vehicles have never even considered going.
Yes, but that's the point. Is you can just. Your vehicles are way more capable than you realize. You just have to believe in yourself a little bit. Just get out, throw the tent and whatever, and when you get tired of it and it becomes too much, go home. You'll figure it out. That's the biggest part. Just don't. Just go. It's a beauty. You got 4 and a few years of life to live, and what are you doing hesitating for 2 minutes, not going in?
You don't know how much time you got.
No.
What are you valuing more? A $100,000 setup rig or awesome life experiences?
Yeah, exactly. The life experiences every time.
Every time.
Don't get me wrong. I think Earth Roamer should give me one of their rigs for sure to take around.
And they're beautiful.
And I'm mad that Mike wouldn't sell me his V3 Drive the Globe. My feelings are hurt that he never offered. He'd do an auction.
Maybe we should go talk to V2 over here.
Yeah, that's true.
It's here.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I'm definitely like thinking about the next rig, but yeah, no, just go.
So how weird is it to be at Overland Expo? You just auctioned your rig, Mike.
Yeah, that's a good question.
And it's here with the new owner.
Yeah.
No, this is V2's here.
Okay.
V3's not here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, where's V3 right now?
V3 is in Carson City, Nevada now.
Is it getting painted?
It's, yeah, I think he's gonna do a wrap on it, and he's using it as a promo truck. Because what's better? I mean, that thing attracts so much attention, right?
Yeah.
So he owns an RV dealership, and he's going to do it as a promo truck, I think.
And we're at version what now?
Well,
he's at 4.
V4 is underway right now.
All right. And when are
like
we going to
I said,
actually
V2, the
see
Unimog
it?
is here.
I can't believe you're making your own red room inside of it.
With the pole?
Yeah, with the BDSM thing. He's a freak.
That's in the garage, actually.
And well, there's no. Oh, okay, interesting.
It feels weird being here without
Follow
a truck.
him on OnlyFans, BDSM Overland.
Oh, well, you know, it's been nice, but I know this is my last Overland Expo ever. I'm waiting for the police helicopter at any minute here. No, it's weird being here without a truck.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool, you know. I mean, I come largely to, you know, for me it's like a family reunion.
Sure.
You come to hook up with friends and stuff. And Phil and I were joking yesterday, I think. Him and I have been together in more than half of the United States at this point. Mm-hmm. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
It's awesome.
So let's talk about that. You flew in because you're in the middle of a build.
Yep.
Yet, you're out there with the other campers.
Yep.
He's a social guy.
People have provided you food, shelter,
Yep.
the whole nine.
Yep.
Big spoon, little spoon. Whatever.
And that's
you have.
actually not a unique story in the Overland community. People help people.
Yep. And the more that you do it, and the more that you travel in the particularly in the nomadic community, the more people you inevitably run into and meet.
That's right.
Regardless of whether you're outgoing or introverted or not, you're going to meet people, right? Like I never met that dog right there.
Yeah. I didn't know she had a dog. Yeah.
What was I saying?
I don't know.
But
I'm distracted with you.
So, our young men here, just for those from the audio, have been distracted by a beautiful woman.
I was distracted by a dog.
Walking a
Big
dog.
Alsatian dog.
Right. But no, it's just amazing because this morning came in, you know, somebody's making coffee, somebody's making breakfast, you know, refilling water bottles. You know, I think Candy's gonna wash Phil's dishes this afternoon.
Is she really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great, man.
But no, but
Maybe
all
she'll
of these
make me
people
lunch.
we've met over the years at different stuff. I start forgetting like when I've met people. You know what
I don't
mean?
even remember.
know where
I don't remember when I met Candy. Like, you were asking me, like, when did I meet you? And I was like, oh, yeah.
I think it was here last year, maybe.
Candy? Maybe it was.
And the
She's
crazy
awesome.
reason why we can never remember where we all know each other originally from is because we see each other in so many different
Yeah.
places.
Also, it's also High West whiskey, old fashioned.
Right.
It's their fault.
Well, Mike
We
needs to
blame-
take a swig because he has
Yeah,
to
it's his
catch
turn.
up.
It's his
did.
turn. No, have another one, buddy.
I know. I mean, it's amazing.
It's an impressive beard. Look at that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at him. It's amazing.
I mean, the people, you guys are.
He's-
See, if you're listening to
definitely
our
got-
podcast, you're not
definitely
missing
got
anything.
it's got
if
an
you're
Oregon vibe.
watching this, you're
Yeah.
missing what's behind the camera.
Yeah, what's behind the camera right now
There's a lot of people that are
it's a
kind
lot of
watching
straw
us talk
hats,
to you guys
massive
right now.
beards,
Right, a lot of beards.
Yeah. and colorful
Yeah. We got a
flared
nice
pants.
Africa twin.
Yeah, the Africa twin's pretty rad.
Motorcycle right next
I
to us.
feel
over
like
there.
the demographic here is like there's 3 demographics. There's
Oh boy. here we go.
bearded Eastern Oregon, or just Oregon in general, like probably votes blue. Then we've got a strong lesbian overlanding community, which I really appreciate. And then we've got some like lot princess, somewhat conservative. I don't know what to call it, like overland bro, Chad bro, overlanding thing, you know, where they just, I got all the KC highlights lights on my rig. Nothing wrong with great lights, want them, love them. Please send me a set.
Didn't invite us to their party.
Didn't invite us in. Yeah, wouldn't let us in.
Yeah, it's a real problem.
Come on,
So,
Ray.
If anybody,
Ray, I know you're out there, buddy.
Anybody from KC,
Yeah, Casey's is Ray.
or knows anybody from KC.
Talking about you, Ray. We were banned. What the?
Well, banned's not the right word. We weren't let in.
We just weren't let in. Like, I don't understand.
Like, really disappointed in that.
So disappointing.
And I feel like I can't use KC highlights on my trucks anymore.
That's why we're going with Baja Designs. Baja Designs.
I'm building a new truck right
Illuminous.
now. So
Hell yeah.
I would love to.
Yeah, shout out to Baja Designs. Shout out to Illuminous. Thanks for letting us into your party.
Until they don't let us in their party or kick us out.
Yeah, that probably happened.
We
you gotta stop getting us banned from these parties.
I don't like to be not invited to things.
Yeah, well, that was so weird.
It was weird.
Yeah, I didn't quite get that.
Well, we're always off the rails on this podcast.
That's true.
Which is good.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe did we have the wrong vehicles? I don't think they like the DIY community.
I think KC highlights would look cool on my big truck.
I thought so too. I wanted those hella ones, just being from California, where we say hella rad. Like, how do I get those lights? I don't know. Anyway.
So you were talking about behind the camera, Mike. If people that are not here want to have an understanding of what's behind the camera, like some of your most popular people you watch on YouTube are literally steps away steps away from us behind the camera.
Kevin and Sarah, Lifestyle Overland, right over here.
So follow them on YouTube, and they will give you a gas card to fuel your adventure. They will give you a $50 gas card for every subscription.
Jason,
to their YouTube. Jason's over there.
Primal, right there.
Yeah, right there. Tarps off, bud.
He's
Tarps
waving.
off. Yeah, he runs one of the best shirtless van accounts. He Raptor linered his entire vehicle.
He did.
Yeah, including his body.
These guys
which is amazing.
Here too. Calypso.
That's Calypso. That's a mother and daughter overlanding crew. They're pretty badass.
And then badass brunette is over here.
Badass brunette's over there. She's ripping around on a one wheel. Yep. Interesting enough, not a brunette.
I am so
not a brunette. Yeah. It's more of a strawberry blonde.
There you go.
Yeah.
You better have one of those.
Yeah. She was just like, well, you know, alliteration matters to her. And I was like, all right. She's a good marketer. She knows what's up.
She is.
Yeah. She dyes her hair brown to be a brunette. It's true. And you got Chad of Living the Van Life.
Chad's
here.
Chad's a great guy.
And Chad's been doing it for a decade or more.
Long time,
yeah.
Dan Grack from
he's here.
Chose Me is also here.
He's literally camped right next to us.
Yeah, Dan's actually camped with us next door to us. Yep.
Legend. Whatever that weird Australian.
These guys, interesting. We've got a truck over here.
They're crazy.
They've been traveling. Yesterday we found this out.
20 years?
20 years. 21 years. 140 countries.
It's crazy.
And they said the only two countries they hadn't been to, I think, were Canada
and the US.
Canada.
Yeah, they're saving them for last.
I mean, we're talking to those guys later because
they need.
We're going to try to get them on for you.
And they're Australian, so you know.
They're Australian, so they also
got
should be off
cases of VB. The engine's out of a Holden, which is amazing. They're basically cashed up bogans that have been traveling the world. Yeah.
So hopefully I will have done my job and done some B-roll. So if you're watching it on YouTube, you will have seen this.
Yeah. Definitely. The classrooms, which are
doing great,
very well attended because that one back there is dead packed right now.
Yep.
I'm not sure what's going on in there. There's a bunch of people in this one. That one's also packed.
Yep.
So one of the great things I like about that they have to do it yourself, the creators and the instructors together is that you can take one of these classes and then you can go walk over to somebody and see the applied theory on what you learned.
Yeah.
Are those Nomad wheels on that taco?
I don't know.
Those look like Nomad wheels.
Yeah,
but that's a nice
I should
taco.
get a set on mine.
What kind of camper is that?
I don't know. It looks like something off of a Chinook.
It does look like a Chinook.
Yeah.
He may have custom built.
Yeah, it's got to be DIY.
But the point we're making here is
there's some cool rigs.
This is the place to be.
Yeah. If you want to geek out on some rigs, it's a good spot to be.
I mean, absolutely.
I mean, look at the calves on that guy.
Yeah.
Just geek out on those.
Wow.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, if I was gonna, if a person had limited time and they were gonna be here for a day, and they weren't taking classes, and
Yep.
they were in the middle of trying to build a rig, a
Yep.
newbie.
Yeah.
I would tell them first, come into the do-it-yourself
Yeah,
section,
yeah.
talk to the guys that know what they're doing.
And then go
And
over to
then
Mountain
go-
House and get some breakfast skillet.
Now, is Mountain House
Sure.
making food here?
Yeah, they got food here. Shout out to Mountain
There
House.
she is on the one wheel right there. Oh,
Is that
I don't
the
know.
badass
I see one
strawberry
wheel going by.
strawberry blonde?
I
don't
there she
know.
goes.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's her.
So let's talk about the Hellenox chairs because they're sponsoring a lot of what's going on over here. Have you used them?
I rode the Baja Divide.
Yes, with the Hellenox.
chair.
Thoughts?
Lightest chair on planet Earth for sure.
Yep. Awkward as hell to sit in.
Yep.
Yeah.
I fell on my
They
ass.
did not
a bunch of freaking times. I gotta tell you.
They did not optimize for stability with that.
No,
chair
they
design.
did not.
Yeah.
But they are super light.
So light. Yeah.
Well, for me,
Those are heavier than the ones I had.
I have two of them, and the advantage to them to me is there's other chairs that I use on
Sure.
the regular. But if I know I'm going somewhere and there's a possibility that people are going to be sitting at camp with me, I can just stick them anywhere.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's why I got to be honest. I love these Black Rock builds
and
things.
actually,
They're
Josiah,
really
talk
comfy.
about this.
Well, so there's this company out of Pocatello, Idaho, which is known for being the Paris of Idaho.
Home
and
of Partners Steel Stoves.
Exactly. And Energy, does the battery company anyway. This company called Black Rock Builds. They do a lot of CNC.
This thing is
It's
comfortable.
It's really nice and it packs down really tight. Don't get me wrong, it doesn't have the pop-out convenience of like a Kelty, which they make wonderful stuff. But I like it because if I'm going to be in a place for more than a couple days, it's nice to set out a big old damn comfy chair with tables and the rest. It takes me just as much time as I would with the Hellenox, and I don't feel like I'm going to fall on my ass.
This is serious.
Yep. It's pretty good.
Come down just a little bit.
Oh, got a little bit down. Am I talking too much into it? Sorry, buddy. And it is the most popular chair with women between the ages of 25 and 53.
Okay.
So
Now,
you
where
told
would
me
I
that
go
was
to
your
this?
dating window. That's what you. I was just happy to see you drift above 50. I was like, all right, bud, way to go. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Don't knock the cougs, man.
Where's the
They're-
helicopter?
It's not too often that somebody makes Mike blush on the podcast.
That's the sun. That's the sun. It's beating down. It's almost 95 degrees now.
No, you get these
No, it's
Black
getting
Rock
really
builds. It's called Black Rock builds.
And what would this set me back, you think? If
I
were
don't know. I
one
have
of
no
these?
idea. I don't
You
know.
don't know what they cost?
No.
This is nice.
They're
This is
pretty
nice.
awesome. I'm really happy with them.
How long does it take to put this love seat together that you and I are sitting on?
Under a minute.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, it's just like unstack it, set it outside. Yeah, literally 2 minutes. Nothing, no time at all. It fits together like a jigsaw puzzle. Once you know how it goes, it takes no time at all.
I'm sure my orange.
And it's just
one's
comfy
gonna
as hell.
look nice.
Yeah. How's your High West whiskey?
High West. is
Shout
very
out to
good.
High West for
Yeah,
sponsoring this.
This is what we're tasting on this podcast here
Yes.
is old-fashioned barrel-finished cocktail. It's
Yeah.
43% alcohol by volume, so that's 86
Yeah.
proof.
We got to drink this whole damn bottle, man.
Old-fashioned, made with straight rye whiskey, straight bourbon whiskey, and bitters. And I will tell you,
It's pretty damn good.
it's if I'm not mistaken, it's
Thank you.
Colorado, correct?
Yeah.
Well,
They're
before
in
you
Park
go
City,
any
Utah.
further, guys,
Oh, is it Utah?
Yeah, it's Utah.
before you go any further, guys,
It's
we're
blessed by
about to
heaven.
Oh,
start.
yeah, right. Park City, yeah.
We're about to start our taste test. All right, guys, we're going to start our taste test. We've already been drinking it throughout the podcast.
Yep.
Josiah, what do we have here?
We've got a High West's old-fashioned barrel-finished cocktail in a bottle. Basically, they make a Manhattan and they put it in a bottle. It blends their rye and their bourbon whiskeys together. I think it's like 86 proof.
Yep.
Did I get that right?
so.
Yep.
86 proof.
And it's what makes it particularly good is it's out of Utah. I think they're in Park City, if I remember correctly. And the apostles of the Latter-day Saints, the Mormons, have blessed it. It is one of the only approved alcoholic beverage that you can drink as a Mormon, which I think is pretty
Wow.
rad. Yeah. So let's shout out to Heavenly Father. Shout out to Joe Smith.
and for
Shout
those-
out to Brigham Young. You know, he was like, "This is the place. Now have a swig of whiskey."
So, just want to mention this because some people are really into whiskeys. It's an old-fashioned made
Yep.
with straight rye whiskey,
It's
straight bourbon
fantastic.
whiskey, and bitters. Now, I'm not really
and it's barrel finished.
right, and I'm not an alcohol person,
The face that Phil gives you when he drinks.
Basically, on a spectrum of doesn't drink to drinks way too much, starts with doesn't drink over here to drinks way too much over here. I'm right in the middle.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
But
That might
maybe
be a
I
lie.
gotta maybe we have to
Switch
shift seats
places.
here. I don't know.
ironically, for a whiskey, it doesn't have a strong alcohol taste.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't get away from it.
That's a cocktail in a bottle.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
Hit it, buddy.
Hit it.
Yeah. When I drink it, I feel like I can taste the love of Heavenly Father.
Yeah.
You know,
I
the apostles.
I haven't checked that out yet, but I guess I will.
The angel Moroni.
Okay, so we got to do a proper taste test once Mike takes a swig.
Yeah.
We're gonna.
Well, yeah, give our feedback. Right.
You throw a cherry on that thing in a glass, ice it up. Oh man, it'd be
we
amazing.
need the good ones. So.
Hey, okay, are we live? Can we get somebody to bring us some cherries?
Yeah. Hey, anybody out
Shout
there?
out to Ajer. Can let's send her a text.
Hey,
Hey,
Azure,
we're in DIY
where's-
Showcase. We need some cherries.
Azure, do you got any
Azure,
cherries
what's
in the
up?
show office?
Yeah.
Possibly.
Shout out to
That
Azure.
is a slap in the
She's here
face.
somewhere. Okay.
Shout out to Fuel the Adventure of Lifestyle Overland. If you need a $50 gift card, subscribe to their YouTube channel today.
And that's why I have a legal disclaimer at the start of the podcast.
It's true.
to anything we say.
Right.
Yeah. What I love about Lifestyle Overland, so check out their logo. It's beautiful, right? They got a pretty good, it's like a topographic map
Right.
applied over the Golden Bear of California. But
Right.
interestingly enough, they're from
They've got one of the nicest Overland
yeah,
logos.
but they're
honestly.
from Colorado. So like
Well,
anytime
no, he's from Tennessee.
yeah, which makes
right?
it even worse. So every time somebody bitches about Californians, but yet you take the state flag logo and make it yours, nah, man. California, greatest state in the union.
Oh, let's not get crazy. Oh, we could have.
Oh,
a big argument
let's
here.
do it. What are you gonna pick over it? No, what are you gonna pick over it?
My favorite state.
Yeah, what's your favorite?
My favorite. Okay, but it
Denial.
depends on for what.
Denial is your
For
favorite.
travel?
For anything.
Washington.
I like Utah.
You like Utah? Yeah, but you can only get a 1 ounce pour when you're in a bar.
I didn't
That's
say-
just-
okay. The best drinking state.
Look.
You know
All right,
what?
ladies and gentlemen, I want to tell you
Vermont.
why he loves
Vermont.
Utah. This is what he told me last night. He loves ex-Mormon women. He did.
don't
Not
believe
my
anything he
words.
says.
Not my words. His. And why? Why'd you say you liked him?
Oh God.
Hand jobs are a dying art form,
Oh,
is what you
God.
said. That's what you said.
I didn't even see Josiah last night. Thank God. So
Okay,
gotta cut that out.
so back to
You
the
gotta
whiskey.
cut that out.
We're not
We
cutting
don't cut
nothing
anything
out.
out.
We're
This is
not cutting
terrible.
nothing
Terrible.
out.
I'm gonna
We
get
don't
arrested
cut
off of this
anything
one.
out.
I'm just gonna deal with whatever the repercussions
Shout
are.
out to Joe Smith.
well, there's no chance of lightning right now, so we should be safe.
What,
All right, so
what
let's talk about.
Mormons are the
flavor?
nicest people.
What flavor are you guys sensing in there? It's definitely a
obviously.
caramel.
Yeah, the rye whiskey is
Yeah.
delightful.
So rye whiskey. So this is my profession, right? My past
I didn't know that.
profession. You didn't
I
know?
thought you were a real estate agent.
No, I'm a beverage guy. I'm a sommelier.
I didn't know. No way, really?
Yeah.
What an interesting guy. What a cool guy.
No, I was a
He was a
beverage guy.
sommelier? No
I was
way.
a beverage guy.
How have you never told me this?
Yeah, I mean, own restaurants.
Man, dude, so you were really loving the Fortaleza with Michael.
Oh, Fortaleza
And
tequila
best
is,
tequila on
is
the
the
planet.
Is the best
Dude,
tequila on the
so
planet. Honest to God.
Unbelievable.
I mean, I had never tried it before.
So
and
ch- so
amazing.
Unbelievable. I go to this bar in Salt Lake City and I see it sitting there on the shelf. I'm like, how do you guys have Fortaleza? And so apparently if you're a small batch distillery, you get these crazy discounts in Utah. It's like this weird state law thing. So I'm there just drinking shots of Fortaleza and they're only like $8.
Wow.
And I know it was nuts. Like bartender didn't understand what he had. I'm like, can I just buy the bottle from you?
Because the
You
Reposado
can't get it.
and the Anejo, first of all, you can't get it.
can't
But
even
if you
find
could
it.
get it, it's priced at about 180,
Yeah,
190
yeah, it's
bucks
way
a
up in
bottle.
the aftermarket,
And
yeah.
even the regular one is 90 bucks.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Shout out to Fortaleza, sponsor the podcast.
Michael,
Shout
if you're
out
listening
to
out there, Slow Baja.
The Journal of Lost Time, Escapar La Baja, Waypoint Overland.
Shout out to Slow Baja.
Shout out
That's
to Michael.
probably your best chance of getting a shot of that tequila. Is from
Chase
that.
that guy in
And
his Jeep.
thank Michael for stopping by
Oh
in
my
the
gosh.
Arroyo
He's got the.
a couple times actually, and bringing us tequila.
That guy's
because,
a legend.
I mean,
Follow the Slow Baja podcast.
You and I were actually doing something at the time.
And out
Like
of
we were
out
you
of
know what we were doing? We were
watching
watching
Rona.
Rona. We were giving her a bat because she rolled in nasty
Fish guts.
guts.
Rona rolls in fish guts.
And then we
We're
got
trying
distracted.
to clean her.
We're trying to
and
clean
then just
her.
out of the haze, like the blue Gulf of California. Just
Yeah.
it was just beautiful. We're
Yeah.
up this arroyo, out of nowhere comes this Land Rover Jeep with slow Baja hand painted Land Cruiser painted on the side. Michael emerges like a vision,
and he's like, "Hey,
like a prophet sent by God."
How do you guys feel about having some tequila shots?
Some tequila. Cases of Fortaleza in the back of it. The hardest tequila to find in the world right now.
And he's got cases.
He's got cases of it. And just, oh man, we had too much to drink that night. It was great.
No, that was actually 1 o'clock in the afternoon. For the
So
record,
let's put some perspective
went
on
late,
this.
though.
How big is this vehicle that he's carrying cases?
No,
of
it's
tequila?
just a Defender. It's tiny.
I know. I want.
It's
tiny.
Like it's just, and he's just ripping. Like, he's an incredible human being.
Yeah.
What is it? A FJ Cruiser, original FJ Cruiser.
It's an original FJ40.
It's a work of art.
Yeah.
It's so cool. He's such a good dude.
So this High West. So let's talk about this. Blessed by God.
Yeah, let's talk about High West. Shout out to Joe Smith.
It's good.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
I mean, I've carried. So in my restaurants, we carried.
You have
the
restaurants?
This
Not
guy's
anymore.
got restaurants? Not anymore.
Where?
But in Connecticut and Massachusetts.
Is that how you got connected to Jerry of TEMBO TUSK? Was he scottling it up in your kitchen?
That would be cool. I want to start the first scottle restaurant.
We should do a version of The Bear. Have you watched that TV series?
Yeah.
It's incredible. But it's about Jerry with the scottle.
Oh my God.
We should call it the Jerry.
Tune in at 8 o'clock tonight on OnlyFans.
Yes. Another episode with
Jerry.
Of Jerry. He's just not there. Nobody knows where he is.
So, but I did. I used to carry it. They have the High West. What's the one with the? I'm just like losing my mind here. They have one that's smoky.
That's good.
Anyways,
Are we really
they
gonna
make
finish
about
this bottle?
a bunch of different variations. I've never tried this, what I'm going to call a pre-made drink in a bottle.
Mm-hmm.
It is
It's remarkably good.
It's remarkably good.
Yeah. Like I had it.
Yeah.
The
It
woman
tastes
I'm
like a
seeing,
legit.
Maureen, was the one who was like, "No, you need to try it. It's legitimately good."
Yeah, it's a legit old-fashioned.
And I had it. I was
bottle.
like, "This is the perfect." And they were very, very generous to sponsor this podcast. So thank you, High West. Shout out to Joe Smith, Brigham Young. What's up, Heavenly Father?
We just lost Phil already.
We lost Phil.
Oh, he's going to get
So
somebody.
we're taking over the podcast, ladies and gentlemen.
Now, so when Phil's gone.
Now
we
people
can
don't
really,
understand about
now
Phil.
we're going off the rails.
His nickname in high school was Tripod. That should tell you everything you need to know about Phil.
Oh, Lord Almighty.
It's true. So, no, but seriously, Phil's single right now, right?
No, Phil's married.
Phil's single right now. So, ladies,
It sounds better.
ladies, do you like traveling the world?
Yeah.
Do you love excellent food and great conversation? Then DM Phil at Waypoint
That's
Overland.
right, because he's good friends with Jerry.
He's really good friends with Jerry, which the most desirable man in Overlanding.
That's right.
So.
Hey, would you like to be on our podcast? All right, get in here. We've got High West.
Just say hi to these people out here.
Just say,
they're right in there.
shout out. Have some High West.
they're
have
hiding.
some whiskey. There you go. It's good. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Start
You
with
gotta
the
try
whiskey.
that.
So where are you
You
from?
have great confidence that I'm over 21, you guys.
You
But I am. I'm 23. Just saying.
See?
Now I'm actually nervous. Is she over 21? She just rolled in here. I'm not of age. You're going to jail.
Yeah. L'chaim.
She's
Good life.
over.
In Hebrew.
Oh, cool. We've got the tribe has arrived.
That's right.
So first, what do you think of the
Are they-
Shout out to Moses.
Very cool. I like it.
Right
Yeah,
off
hit it.
the
I like the
rails.
little icon here that you guys have. Old fashioned in a very cool way.
So tell us about overlanding in the Jewish community. Like I feel like
Well, I'm new to this
No.
world, so I'm sorry I might not be that much of interest, but you know.
when you rolled in here with I'm curious.
Looking official, yeah, I guess. Overlanding in the Jewish community, huh?
Yeah.
Well, I'm a
No, I
Messianic.
want to know, but I'm actually legit curious. Like,
Well,
This is the
I'm a
best podcast ever.
tell us more.
I'm a Messianic Jew for one thing.
That's
which
great.
Disqualifies me a little bit, but
Okay, no, it doesn't
yeah.
disqualify
You know what
anything.
Messianic
I
Jew
know
is?
exactly what it
Okay,
is. It's a
great,
long
then.
story.
Yeah, good.
Father's a
Happy that you
Presbyterian
know.
minister.
Good.
We can get into it. But go ahead.
Dude, awesome.
Well, sort of. Diehard atheist at this point, but
oh, well,
yeah, that's fine.
I won't rescind my half five. I work with the devout atheists,
Cool.
so. But overlanding the Jewish
No, but
community.
where does it fall into the Jewish holiday calendar, which is the greatest of religious calendars for
Well,
cool shit to do?
There's I'd say it worked really well with Sukkot, which is when you're
Yeah,
supposed
yeah,
to go
yeah,
live
yeah,
after it.
yeah,
So
makes
that
sense.
works. I'm on a
And build
podcast.
some roofless
Nice.
cabins. All right.
Okay,
You
so
want
it's
some
time to taste
old
test.
fashioned?
Yeah.
What is it?
It's a. It's
I actually
an
haven't tried it
old-fashioned
yet.
out of Utah.
Out of Utah. Shout out to Joe Smith. Shout out to Brigham Young.
Very cool.
Right
So what do
on.
you think of the bottle?
I think the bottle looks nice. It reminds me of an old apothecary.
Yeah.
There we go.
Only,
Very good,
only
very
much
Yes. Yeah, that's a good
larger.
Where are y'all
And,
from?
It's like the snake oil.
We're in
Whidbey
Washington.
Island.
Now I wouldn't
Whidbey?
know.
Yeah.
Beautiful
That's
place.
an old-fashioned.
Yeah, so obviously you got to take a ferry on and on.
Sure.
Right.
Well, is there a large Messianic Jewish population
No.
in Whidbey Island? On
No.
Whidbey Island?
There's
No.
about, there's about
Us.
3 of them.
Shout out to the Messianic Jews of Whidbey Island.
It's easy to be popular.
Yeah, it makes sense.
We are the majority.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. It's great.
That is now remember.
What do you think of the
We
bottle?
are in the side.
I like the bottle.
Seattle.
I mean, it's
Okay.
that.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I'm familiar.
That's
Yeah.
old
Beautiful out
school
there.
So
right
you gotta
there.
know.
Okay,
Yeah.
so take a swig and
Yeah, take a
tell us
swig. Tell us what you think.
He would know.
He's the connoisseur.
I respect it. I respect it. Hey, can I ask you a personal question? She's over 21, right?
Jordan's 23, almost
Yeah,
24.
good.
We didn't know if she was lying to us.
We were making sure we weren't
Wow,
getting in
that's-
trouble.
No,
That's
just
good
making
stuff.
sure. She rolled up and she's like, "How do you know I'm old enough?"
I wish you could. This is good stuff. I would have this in my bar.
Good. That makes it
you,
evident.
and you got to understand, I got 2 bars because
Oh!
my
Kind of a big deal.
trailer
Overland vehicle.
has a side. One side's for cooking, and one side's for the libations.
Well, I have a question. Where are you in 2 weekends? Come down to the Oregon coast to Holy Toledo, the event down there.
Oh,
It's a
there's an
big-
event down there.
Yeah, it's a big van overlanding gathering. It's on an estuary.
Uh-huh.
If you're gonna cook, Travel Oregon will hook you up with like all the crab meat and oysters and whatever you want.
Oh, man.
And like $150 worth of produce. Yeah, it's awesome. It's also called Holy Toledo.
Holy Toledo. Yeah,
Yeah.
Toledo, Oregon.
pass
Yeah,
the
come
bottle.
down.
Yeah.
It's right by Newport.
So, like, right now, in my bar, in my trailer,
Yeah, bring that down.
I've got,
Take some stickers.
You're doing great. You're doing
Take all
great.
of them.
I've probably got close to
I mean, I'm driving the globe. so-
$200
and
worth
Phil-
of alcohol
Phil and I
in
do a
it, and
podcast.
mixers, and Amaros,
would-
and whiskeys.
Like Fernet? Do you have Fernet?
This is really good.
Fernet's at home. I didn't bring
you want
Fernet
some?
with me. Hell yes.
All right, cool.
This is really
Hey,
This is
you're-
awesome.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to get some Fernet for the man here because this podcast is sponsored by High West Whiskey and Fernet Branca.
Okay.
Hold this for a second.
Sure thing.
Yeah, and at home I got
really
2
good.
bottles of Fernet
man.
Branca. and I
So-
should have
so
brought
what-
one, but
My man.
So what do you
you
think?
run out of space.
This is really good. I'm
Have a
actually.
seat.
Yeah, sure. haven't never done this before.
But he doesn't
Cool.
leave it as white dog.
This is really good. I'm
And
not.
so then they cure it out.
I've got
and
some
they
some
slightly
health issues, so I don't
amplify it.
tend to drink
So you
a lot,
put
and I'm
little
really
bit of
fussy if I'm
apple
going to
pie
have
in.
something because I don't have
Hey,
very
dude,
much of
Only got a
anything.
little bit
Yeah.
left.
And that's
Yeah,
really
no
good.
Oh, what a rig.
That is really good.
Bring it to,
Even before noon, it's
Toledo.
pretty good. I mean, we're at
Wait, what
11:30.
time is it?
It's 11:30.
Okay, well, I guess where would it be 5 o'clock? I don't know. Maybe it's
somewhere.
Maybe it's 5 o'clock in
HolyToledo.com.
Israel. Who knows?
So
Probably.
It probably is actually.
if you had this at home,
2 weeks.
would you drink it neat like
We're gonna have
this,
a
or
great
would
time.
you make a mixed drink?
Well, what he does is generally what I would
Yeah, come
do,
on down.
even though, like, generally I don't have
guys should come. It's a great
whiskeys
event.
because I find them a little bit harsh for my palate. Just not my thing. I
Josiah.
generally go for a glass of wine. But I'd probably do what he does and have an ice cube and water it down a little bit if I were to have it. But I like
all
the
here. You
flavor
having a
of
good
that.
time?
It's really
All right.
nice.
All right, so everybody seems to like this particular drink that we're pouring. We're going to take a break because this thing has gone completely off the wire. We'll be right
As
back.
usual.
You have been listening to Waypoint Overland's Random Waypoints. Like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more.